Are you like trying to mock me? I kind of understand.
Hey yo, here we go. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. I said microphone check. 1 2. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Ain't nobody out here winning like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Just like me, like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Ain't nobody out here winning like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Just like me, like me.
All right. Hello. Welcome to Aces Wild Chicago Sports Takes. If you were with us last week, we had a little bit of a depressing show. The Bears were coming off of a 52-point ass kicking, and it wasn't looking good. And then, Turtle and I come on here. We talk a little bit about the Bears and Ryan Poles and all the things that are going wrong. And then the Bears decide to go and surprise everybody. But before we jump into all that, Turtle, how are you tonight?
I'm good, man. It's it's a lot easier to do these and definitely a lot more fun to do these shows after a win, especially a convincing win like they had where they look so good. It kind of, makes you forget about the first 2 weeks and just kind of enjoy where they're at right now.
Yep. So what Turtle's alluding to is the Chicago Bears played the Dallas Cowboys in that 3 p.m. window. A lot of eyes on you. They ended up showing out, winning 31.
And even later, because they had the 325 window.
Yeah, that's right. 320.
They were I think there was only 3 games when they played.
Yeah, it was. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little before the game started. I was on edge because I felt like, it was just a matter of time before it all came crashing down, like it usually does. But they surprised me. They ended up winning the game 31-14. Caleb had himself probably the best game of his career, I would say. And overall, like last year, he had the game against the Jaguars and the Panthers and looked good in those games. But in terms of like everything that happened during the offseason this past year to get to this point, I think it's really a positive sign to see the growth from week 1 to week 2 to now week 3. He was 19 for 28, 298 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions with a QBR of 142.6. Like, that was probably one of the top quarterback performances of the week this past weekend. And we talked a lot last week about this offense shooting itself in the foot and the defense not being able to generate any pressure or really do anything. They couldn't stop the run. And not going to lie, when this game started, it kind of looked like it was going to be a bad game. The Bears go 3 and out, punt the ball. And then Dallas has a nice throw over the middle. No problem. Then that run.
The back-to-back runs.
Back-to-back runs.
Because even the run that Stevenson took the ball away, it was a long run. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean.
It wasn't like they took it away at the line of scrimmage.
Right. No, that was like a 25-yard, 30-yard run that he was on.
Yeah, I think Williams had 41 yards on 2 carries on that drive, and then Stevenson took the ball away.
Tyrique Stevenson, a guy who we criticized last week, saying that, he hasn't really been the same player since that Washington game last year. He didn't even just like strip the ball. He went in there and he grabbed that ball and took that ball away.
I mean, if Caleb's not the MVP of the game, it's Tyrique Stevenson.
Yeah,
I mean, he was all
Tremaine
over the
Edmonds.
Field. Yeah, or Tremaine Edmonds. Yeah, but I mean, you look at a guy like you said, Stevenson, who we not only the two of us, but national media and especially local media has been all over this kid. He's only third year.
Yeah, it's his 3rd year.
So everybody, but you saw those flashes as a rookie, and then the great play last year until Washington debacle. And I think the biggest takeaway for me, and not to get too far off course, but I think the biggest takeaway for me from this game is the response. You know,
Yeah.
last year you look at the Washington game, and there was no response. All we asked for the rest of the year was show up,
Yeah.
and have a response, show up and have some pride in what you're doing. Did
Yeah,
you
it looked like
care
you care
to
about the
change the
outcome of these
game?
games, right?
Right. But they didn't look like that. They didn't look like they cared. Eberflus had no response for anything last year. And then even after he was fired and the other guy, the offensive coordinator, the whatever his name
I
was.
forget his name. It's not important.
It's not important. But he was just a stepping stone. But anyway, none of those guys, they had responses to anything. So to see them come out and then you have a 3-and-out, and it's like, oh, great. I'm telling you, I was watching the game, they went 3-and-out, and I said, uh-oh. Even the last two games when I got blown out, at least they look good on that first drive.
Yeah, the first
They
drive.
look horrible. And then boom, pass to Ferguson. Boom, run. Boom, big run. I'm like, oh, this game's over. We're about to get blown out. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, Tyreek Stevenson took the ball away. I'm like, wait, how?
Yeah,
And from that point on, it was Bears, baby.
it was full throttle. They scored on that.
All
next
gas, no
possession.
brakes.
That's right. They scored on that next possession.
And what a beautiful throw, too.
Yeah,
I mean,
Caleb, that's the thing, man. Like, if we want to really break it down, that first quarter,
and I don't think that you get enough from
Well,
DeAndre. They don't show enough for DeAndre Swift for his pass blocking, but the way he can step up and be that extra blocker for Caleb to get that clean pocket that he had the whole game.
yeah, and you know, Rome got that separation right off the rip, and Caleb saw him open, throws the hand up. Such a good ball. You know, and then you hold Dallas to a field goal. You come back down and you score again on that flea flicker, which I don't know if I've seen a prettier play by the Bears in the last 5 or 6 years, to be honest. And I know we had the Mitch 6 touchdown game versus the Bucks, and
Yeah.
Justin had some flashes, but that flea flicker, man, and it looked like it was going to be a complete mistake because Swift.
Oh
just
my
throws
God,
the ball.
that floater back to
Yeah.
Caleb.
It seemed like it took 10 minutes for that ball to get down, but he
And
gets it. And
especially
he just
Yeah, you could he saw that the whole time, was like, come on.
yep, and you know, it comes out later that they practiced that play
Yeah.
all week, and Caleb was not able to really make that throw.
No, he said he overthrew him every time.
Yeah, and Ben Johnson said, you know what? Fuck it, we're running it during the game. Let's see what happens. And Caleb delivered. And I think that's really important for this relationship between him and Ben Johnson, to build that kind of trust. Because if you know, God forbid, let's say he overthrew him or underthrew him, Ben Johnson's not going to feel comfortable calling those types of plays if Caleb keeps, you know, overthrowing and everything. You know, and then Dallas comes back after that with a field goal, 6-14. The Bears end up letting the Cowboys tie the game. Santos kicks a field goal, and then you had the touchdown to Cole Kmet for 10 yards to make it 24-14 going into halftime. And, you know, you could have went into halftime 17-14 and probably felt okay. But getting that last touchdown before halftime, making it 24-14.
Yeah.
And then knowing that they were going to get the ball back after half was made those points even that much more important, because, you know, even if Dallas would have come down and scored, you still have that little bit of a 3-point gap that you got to play with. And then the Bears decide to stop the Cowboys on the first possession of the second half, and then proceed to take the entire quarter to move the ball downfield, literally the entire quarter to move the ball downfield. And there were a couple plays where, you know, they got backed up, but that didn't bother them. They were able to still get ahead of the chains. And then, you know, they go for it on fourth down, and Caleb. Go ahead.
Did you hear Ben Johnson when he was asked about that drive?
No.
They asked him after the game. They said, I think it was actually the next day. I think it was Monday morning. They asked him, they said, did you, you know, what was your thought process there in calling 11 straight run plays? And he said, honestly, I was just in the moment calling plays. I didn't realize that we had a 19-play drive, and I didn't realize that we ran the ball 11 straight times until after the game, and they told me. And, he's like, I heard about it. I was like, did we really? And they asked DJ Moore about it, and DJ Moore was like, it was torture. We were out there forever.
For real. Like, that game, that drive, it
19 plays.
19 plays, and it took, like, 10 minutes for that drive.
Yeah, I think it was like 10 minutes and 47 seconds or something like that came off the clock.
And what it did was, when you can put a drive, like, okay, 10-minute drives are not common in the NFL.
No.
They're just
Hell
not,
no.
especially in today's NFL. But we always used to talk about, how do you stop a good offense by keeping them on the sideline?
Well, it was the Tom Brady question. How do you stop Tom Brady? You keep him off the field.
Keep him off field. We used to say it about Aaron Rodgers all the time, right? If the Bears can just keep Rodgers off the field, run the ball, run clock, whatever. And that's exactly what they did on that drive. You started with some passes, and then 11 straight run plays, fourth and goal. And again, people that aren't used to this type of offense, or like haven't watched Detroit Lions football, who don't understand this idea that Ben Johnson comes in with, the new age thinking of football is, if you go for it on fourth down more times than not, you're going to win the game because you're getting that extra down. Now, yes, there are going to be times where a fourth down isn't going to get converted, and it might end up biting you in the ass. But one thing I noticed on that drive was just how good of a scheme Ben Johnson can put together. He's able to get motion. He's able to get these wide receivers open, and that, even that touchdown, it broke down.
Yeah.
Caleb moved a little bit outside the pocket, pulled the defender to him. DJ Moore wide open, boom, back of the end zone. And he delivered again. And that's the thing, is we criticized him a lot the first 2 weeks for
justified
100% for missing passes, overthrowing, underthrowing. Some of that interception last week was whose fault was it?
Right.
I think, and then there was even a couple passes on Sunday where he missed, and that one with Rome, where Rome wasn't, I think. And I told my dad when we were watching it, I was like, it looked to me like Rome slowed up on that route. I think he was supposed to keep going, or Caleb.
Yeah.
And then they shoot to Caleb at his face, and he's like barking towards Rome.
Right.
And then you understood, Rome put the route short. But overall, that game, and I don't want to get too high, right? Because
but it's hard not to, because you see the flashes of what this team can be. For years, as us Bears fans, for years we see all these things go against us. The 19-play drives, the crushing drives, the never getting better at anything. What do you show me, what player are you making better in these coaching staffs? Like, now we're seeing all that right away. We've wanted the cool gadget plays, the quarterback that could go win because of him. Things like that, all the things that we've always dreamt of, and we thought we've gotten with Mitch, and then Justin, and Caleb up until now. And then you see it, and you're like, that's the guy we were waiting for. But it's cool to see. Sorry,
no, it's okay. Go ahead.
But it's cool to see Ben Johnson's a very transparent coach, especially in season. Like, everybody was like, all right, it's preseason. He's continued that. And he said flat out, I'm looking for Caleb Williams to use his eyes, keep them upfield, and find the receiver.
Right.
Then you heard Caleb say, look, a couple of those throws, I'm working on some stuff. I missed it. I didn't get my eyes where they should be. I was trying to look a player up, trying to look somewhere else and go somewhere else with the ball. I overthrew it. That play last week, week one, Caleb takes that ball and he just runs it to the end zone.
Yep.
This week, he scrambled, he kept his eyes moving. He saw DJ and he said, let me stop, plant my feet, and throw it to DJ. And throw a good ball. It's it's okay that Caleb he's not always going to be on platform when he throws. It's not who he is.
Right.
And that's okay.
And Ben Johnson even said it after the game.
Right. But the key is, and what you've heard Ben Johnson say week after week is, I need his feet going towards where the ball is going, because that's how you make those throws. And that throw to DJ, I know he was wide open. I know everyone says it's not that hard. Those are those throws, though, as Bears fans, we're used to not just Caleb, but quarterbacks in general missing. And then you see the play after where, we've seen everyone's seen the meme of Justin Fields with the field wide open and that one receiver there, and he doesn't throw the ball.
Yep.
So to see Caleb see that and go, let me stop and hit him. Like, those are the important things. We saw week 1 before he went out on the field. They interviewed him. They said, what did Ben Johnson tell you going into this game? He said, Ben told me it's real simple. My job is clear. When it's time to be Superman, go be Superman.
Yep.
Until then, be the point guard. And this Sunday, that's what he did.
Yep.
He took those smart throws. He made good throws. And when the big plays were there and Dallas made mistakes, he crushed them with it.
Yes. And that's the thing that you hope to see going forward, is this ability to calm his feet. I thought that on Sunday, I thought his feet looked really, really good. He wasn't like dancing like he was on Sunday versus the Lions 2 Sundays ago versus the Lions. And I get it. Here's one thing that you listen to sports radio and all these guys all the time. The one thing that bugs me is they're like, oh, well, it was just the Dallas Cowboys. Their defense is this and blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. The narrative, if the Bears would have lost this game or if Caleb would have looked bad, would have been, Caleb's not the guy. How can you go forward with this guy? He struggled versus this, blah, blah, blah. You can only play who's on your schedule.
Absolutely.
Cowboys were up. Was it a revenge game? Probably. And if I'm being honest, the coaches that have left the Bears last year, they're not looking so hot at these new places that they're at. And I get it. Dallas traded Micah. Flus, probably wasn't expecting that. But Caleb looked like he felt comfortable because he had gone against that defense in practice all last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I think Caleb, you can see Caleb, he's a young kid. He's used to being the best dude on the field, every field he walks onto. He's a confidence guy. When plays start going his way, the sky's the limit. When plays start going bad, sometimes he has a rough time being the reason they stop going bad and start going good again. So the more Ben Johnson and the whole coaching staff could get him comfortable, and the more they could get him confident in these plays that are being called, like it's just going to speed up his elevating his game and progress him that much faster.
And you can tell when a quarterback isn't confident. Look at Russell Wilson last week, right? You could tell that no point in that game did he feel like he was in control of that game. And then, they bring in Jackson Dart and the fans cheer. They take him out and the fans boo.
Right.
Because Russ is going back in. Like, that messes with you.
Yeah, hell yeah, it does.
And Caleb, like you said, Caleb's a guy who high school, college, he was the man. His legs, his arm, he could do whatever he needed to do to make magic on the field. It's not like that anymore. And one thing I am excited about is the way that they kind of talk about each other, Caleb and Ben Johnson. And a lot of athletes say they want to be coached hard and preach, this hard work pays off, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's another thing when you get a coach who's going to hold you to that standard, right? And all off season, the first 2 games, Ben Johnson's said it, like, we have to be better. We have to be better in practice over anywhere else. And he never threw too much praise on Caleb, never put too much heat on him either.
Right.
And you can see Caleb is starting to understand this offense. And when you start to win, you buy in more, like you said. The defense sees it. And that we haven't even touched on the defense yet.
No.
You know what I mean? And the defense stood out. I know whatever you want to say about the offense versus Dallas's defense, the Dallas offense should have been able to do more against this Bears defense. I know CeeDee Lamb gets hurt.
I mean, even without CeeDee Lamb, they still got George Pickens. Like,
Right.
it's not like they don't have an offense. Like, the defense play, and I mean, there's a few things to remember here. And before we fully switch over to the defense and other parts of the game other than Caleb, you know this because you and I are very close. We've talked sports many times. I'm not a Dan Orlovsky fan.
Nope.
Never have been. I think he's a horrible analyst. He said something very smart the other day, and I will give him his flowers for it. He said, can we just give Caleb till like November to see what him and his offense is doing? Like, this was after the first 2 weeks. He said, it's only week 3 of a brand new offense with a brand new coach, with brand new terminology and brand new players. Like, just give them till November to get all that and see where they're at. Don't judge them after 2 weeks and say, okay, the guy can't play.
It kicked me out but kept me in. So
What happened?
I don't know. It kicked me out, but I'm
Oh, I didn't know if it was you or me.
I feel like I'm still up there. But I'm not there. It's not good.
I can't hear you. It's like,
All right. We're live.
there we go. I can hear you now.
Well, anyways, what happened? I don't know. It like froze me, kicked me out of the room, and went back, go back in, and there was two. I think a lot of people would love if the school being here, but I can't talk twice. Anyways, sorry. What were you saying?
I was saying that Orlovsky said, can we just wait till November to see Caleb in his offense? Like, it's week 3 of a brand new offense with a brand new coach, with brand new plays and brand new terminology for a second-year quarterback. Like, let's take it easy before people start calling him a bust.
Yeah.
And you see the flashes and you see for a whole game what he looked like this past Sunday. And, you know, Ben Johnson talked about it, the difference when you keep a clean pocket around him. I don't know if it was you that posted the stat. Somebody posted that he was the number 1 ranked quarterback in the NFL the first 2 weeks with a clean pocket.
We talked about that. I think you and I did. But yeah. And I mean, obviously, quarterbacks would love to have no pressure in their face and all that stuff. But it just goes to show you what this kid's potential could be if they get it right. And, you know, I know that there was a lot of, Jaden Daniels this and CJ Stroud that and blah, blah, blah. And people act like Caleb didn't throw 3,800 yards last year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. In a bad offense with a bad coach.
With 2 different head coaches, 3 different offensive coordinators, all in one.
Right. All in his rookie season.
Right. With a terrible offensive line.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know, and it frustrates. Obviously, we're fans of the team, so it frustrates us when we hear negative about guys that we hope end up being, you know, because as Bears fans, who was the last quarterback that we ever felt like when we get into a game, we have a shot? For me, it's Jay Cutler.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Right. You know, even
it's
if
got to be the only one that you
losing,
felt comfortable with.
Right. You know, you might have lost a lot of those games, but at least you knew, you know, when you went into Detroit and played Matt Stafford, or when you went to Green Bay and played against Aaron Rodgers, or I don't even know who was in my Minnesota at the time. Kirk Cousins was there for such a long time. I don't remember.
Yeah, might have been
Donovan McNabb.
I don't know who it was.
No. But anyways, you know, you always felt like you had an opportunity to win that game.
Yeah.
And I feel like at this point, if Caleb and the offense can keep up what they did last week, and I'm not saying it's going to be 31 points every week. You know, I know Bears fans have this hope of, well, that's the standard now. 31 points is the minimum, and we got to hit that every time. Like that's not going to be the case.
Right.
You might be in some dirty games, you know. Sunday versus the Raiders might be one of those games. They have Max Crosby, man, like one of the best pass rushers in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm I'm hopeful about this relationship between Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams because it really seems like Caleb is buying in and Ben is kind of getting the reins of this team. And I do think that going against Matt Eberflus may have been the ultimate like Kickstarter to this whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it was able
absolutely.
to give all these players who were made out to look like the bad guy for all the offseason. And then, you know, these coaches came out and said that what Caleb said in the book wasn't true, you know, blah, blah, blah. And now those guys don't look as good as they thought they would going to these other places. And, you know, if we're going to get into next week, but I do want to talk a little bit about the defense because for a defense that got gashed all over the place in week 2 against the Lions, they did do a hell of a job at competing. And I'm not saying it was all perfect because there were still plays that they left. They got a lot of yards, you know, but what's that old saying? Bend but don't break. We as Bears fans, we were always that bend but don't break, especially when you play against good quarterbacks. You know, if you could just keep them out of the end zone, hold them to a field goal. And that's what they did in that first half for the most part. 2 field goals, 1 touchdown. You know, and you put up 3 touchdowns. So this defense, while I know they're short, you know, 3 of their top defensive players, I still think if they play team defense, they should be able to at least hold their own. And if your offense can play like they have played, you know, you might have to win some of these shootouts, you know, 31-28, you know, 36-31, whatever. You know, you might have to win a game like that. But the takeaways is something that really impressed me. It just, this defense looked so opportunistic on Sunday. You know, a ball that most guys probably wouldn't have thought to rip out of a running back's hand. Stevenson rips it out. You know, the ball that bounced off George Pickens' hands, Edmonds, opportunistic. You got to make those plays when they're presented to you. Yeah. And it feels like that's something that this defense was preached a lot to during the offseason. And the pass rush it is what it is. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's going to be great. But if you have the ability to at least move the quarterback off of his spot to just give your secondary a little bit of time, you know, make that quarterback second guess a throw, maybe change the way he throws it. Yeah. And give that
opportunity. He can throw it before he's ready.
Right. Give that opportunistic defense the chance to take it away. You know, I think that this team, and we'll transition here in a sec to next week and what that could mean. But it was a very positive step in the right direction. And let's jump to next week. Week 4, Bears head out to the desert to face the Raiders of Las Vegas. And, you know, a lot of people wanted Ashton Genty on the Bears in the draft, and they're going to go up against him. We're going to see what he's all about. Pete Carroll, Geno Smith. This is a game, in my opinion, you have to win. It's just like last week. You had to win that game against Dallas. You have to win this game against the Raiders. You have the better offensive weapons all around. I think you have a better quarterback. I think the running game is, you don't know what
Did you
Las
say you
Vegas
think you have a better quarterback?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to give Geno a little bit of credit, you know, but I think you have a better head coach.
Look, you've got a better quarterback. You've got a better coach. You have better receivers. They got the best tight end in football, so I can't say anything there.
Right.
But you've got better everything other than Max Crosby and Brock Bowers. That's all they got going for them.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I mean. Like, this is a game where you should win. You know, no game is ever guaranteed. But I'll tell you what, going into the bye week at 2-2 is going to feel a hell of a lot better than going into the bye week at 1-3.
Yeah, especially rolling with 2 back-to-back wins.
Right. And then you go into play Washington off of the bye on Monday Night Football in
And
Washington,
kick their ass.
where all the bullshit went down last year that just destroyed this team. I look for this to be another game where Caleb takes a step in the right direction. Obviously, the no interceptions is awesome, but there are some times where I do feel like he's a little hesitant to make a tight window throw. A lot of the touchdowns that he threw were guys that were open 5 yards of space between them and the defender. And
yeah, but if you think about Detroit the last couple of years, you don't see Jared Goff throwing into a lot of tight windows. That's not what Ben Johnson's offense is schemed to do.
That's true. That's fair.
He even talked about it a little bit. I don't know if it was today or yesterday when he spoke, but he said the object is to hit guys in space and let them do something with the ball.
Right.
Like that, and that's it looked like that this past Sunday. You saw Caleb, and that's what we talked about in the first two games. It's not even the missing throws. It's the mistimed throws where you're hitting guys late and now they're catching it up against coverage rather than catching it where they can do something with it.
Right. And you have guys like DJ Moore who are good in space. And my biggest worry is that the running game is going to be the detriment of this team eventually. Swift looked okay last week. And I was watching with a buddy of mine, and I kept telling him, I was like, bro, just watch every time before he even goes forward. He gets the ball, and the first thing he does is shuffle his feet and look to make a move. And like, if they can get that out of his head and just say, bro, get the ball and go forward. He has the speed to get yards, and then use that juke and those moves get more space.
I think Caleb, Swift, a lot of these guys, I think they became so expectant of bad things to happen in a play from last year that sometimes now they're like, they've got to remind themselves like, hey, we're actually okay. Like we could actually just play football now. So I think like part of that, because he didn't used to be that way. Like when he was in Philly, he got the ball, he got behind those big horses they had, and he just took off north-south. Didn't worry about all the dancing. He just went north-south. Did you? And this is about running and next week, but it's kind of off topic. Did you see the Ashton Jeanty stat that I shared about an hour ago or hour before we started?
Yeah, 145 rushing yards.
And 147 after contact.
Yeah, it's wild.
They say he's averaging contact behind the line of scrimmage on like 78% of his runs or something like that.
That's crazy. And I mean, if that's the offensive line that you're going against, like your defense got to put some pressure on Geno Smith.
Yeah, I mean, I always tried, and we've gone round and round about this before, but I try not to use the must-win term, especially this early in the season. But I think you're right. Like, you have to find a way to win this game. Like, where you're at in this season, not every game is you look at it and go, oh, that's definitely winnable. This is one of them.
Yeah.
The Raiders are not a good football team right now.
No.
The offense is struggling. They got Brock Bowers, but other than that, they had a kid, Trey Tucker, last week. He had a lot of 3 touchdowns, all long passes, very fast. But other than that, like, they don't have that, like, third down, move the chain type player other than Brock Bowers. Jeanty's struggling to get going. I think his confidence is starting to get a little tested because he's used to having nothing but success, and now he's had no success. The Raiders defense is getting chewed up every week. Like, there's not a whole lot of games in the NFL that you go into like, this is our game to lose. But I think this is. Yeah. Like, you've got to go out there. You've got to find a way to win and go into the bye 2-2. Like you said, it is a huge difference, not only this week, next week, but for the rest of the season to go into that bye at 2-2. And after you went 0-2, it's not like you went 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2. Like, to go 0-2 And they can say what they want, the Matt Eberflus revenge game, blah, 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 blah. I don't care what he says. You can't tell me Ben Johnson wasn't pissed that they went to Detroit and got embarrassed in Detroit.
Yeah.
So, like, now to go out and kick the crap out of Dallas, and then if you can go to Vegas and you win convincingly, like, now you're starting to put it out there, like, not only are we able to win, but we're able to go out there and win from pillar to post. Like, we're able to just take this thing and run with it the whole way. And that's a whole different thing than, oh, we eked out this game by a last-second field goal. To go out there where you're never pressured. Like, that Dallas game, other than, like you said, that first drive when they were running the ball after we went 3 and out, it never felt like that game was in jeopardy again.
No.
So
and that's so rare when you watch a Bears team, right? Like, there was a point, I mean, even Monday night, the first game of the season, halftime, Bears are winning, right? I told my dad the moment that the Bears let the Vikings kick that field goal, I was like, they're going to lose this game. It
was like that thing you sent in our chat. Like, at this point, the game's over. The Bears have won it, and I'm just hoping that they still don't find a way to blow this.
Right.
Like that.
Right.
That's the epitome of a Bears fan.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen it so many times, whether it is a last-second Rodgers Hail Mary or a last-second return or any way that they've found to lose games, to snatch
victory,
victory, or whatever.
To snatch defeat from the hands of victory. That's what they do.
Like, that's the Bears. So, like, to have a game where you just can enjoy watching it, like, dude, like, this is what I've always wanted as a Bears fan.
Right.
So, like, if you could do that 2 weeks in a row, going into that bye week, and then you get, and I don't know where they're at health-wise, but if you can get a Kyler Gordon back, or TJ Edwards, or both of them back for week 5, like, or 6 after the bye week. If you can get them back after the bye week, now you start to get healthy and you're rolling. Like, that's when this team can start to take off.
Well, and then you're 2-2, and you're basically at a reset point. The division, nobody's pulled away. The Packers just lost to the Browns after some clown in their locker room said they were going to go undefeated this year.
Right.
Joke. The Vikings, they look good with Carson Wentz. And if the Lions keep playing like the Lions played yesterday against that Baltimore team, I don't know if anybody can beat Detroit if their offense is going to look the way they did. 225 yards rushing, like, that's insane.
7 sacks of Lamar Jackson.
Right. Like,
that's scary.
And here's I know I got some Packer friends that are watching. Here's what I'm going to say about the Packers.
Oh, good. Hey, your team sucks.
You opened the first game of the season at home for, like, the first time in 5 years. You had Micah Parsons, the hype of literally just getting that trade done like 2 weeks before.
The boost.
Right. And then you played back-to-back home games against teams like one was figuring out the offensive and defensive coordinators in Detroit. Yeah. And then I don't even know who they played in week 2. I didn't watch the game, but then they go and they have a snooze fest against the Browns, and Jordan Love does what Jordan Love does. And I've told these guys this from the beginning. If you looked at, and this is how I justify to my I tried to tell this to my Packer friends, and nobody wants to hear it because they think I'm just this meathead Bears fan. Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Jordan Love. The Dallas Cowboys offense is better than the Green Bay Packer offense. Micah Parsons didn't help the Cowboys do shit. He didn't.
Yeah, I was telling my buddy that at work. I said, Dallas didn't win anything with Parsons.
Right. And I mean, I get it. Would I have loved him to be on the Bears? Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not even mad that the Packers got him. I'm more upset that the Bears didn't get him.
Right.
But I'm always that way with every fucking
we would like every big name player to go to the Bears, even if it's never really a realistic option.
Right. But I'm not worried about the Packers. I'm worried about the Bears and their defense against offenses.
All I gotta say, let the Packers lose to Dallas in this week.
I don't know, man. Matt Eberflus' defense is pretty brutal.
I don't think they're going to beat Green Bay. I'm just saying. But then let the talk start. If they go into Dallas, or I don't know if it's in Green Bay, wherever they're playing,
It's in Dallas.
is it they go to Dallas and lose to Dallas, or like let them have a game where Kenny Clark just disrupts the whole game? Like,
Yo, let me tell you this. I live up here, right? So I hear
Oh,
people
yeah.
listening to the radio. I hear the news outlets that are on TV.
Yeah.
All I heard about all this weekend was, why the hell don't we just bring Mike McCarthy back? How can you pay Jordan Love $200 million to be your quarterback?
Yo,
Like, bro,
I'll
Packer
tell you
fans
right
are
now.
so fucking just spoiled. Like, you
I'll
lost
tell you
one
right now,
game.
Jordan Love is not the guy.
He is not the guy. I've said that for 2 years on this show. I have. He's not. He makes too many stupid interceptions,
Yeah, it makes bad throws.
throws. And like we've talked about it. And Packer fans, they suck that cheese Kool-Aid, whatever the hell. Bro, if you throw into triple coverage, that's not a good throw.
Right.
If your guy just happens to come down with the ball, that's still not a good throw.
Right. Just because it turned out good
Right.
doesn't mean it was a smart decision.
Exactly. Jordan Love didn't try to fit it into. I mean, he
Right.
probably did try, but
Right,
the
but he
odds of it
didn't,
going
he didn't
into
look at it
triple
going,
coverage,
hey, right.
right? Oh, I'm gonna dot this ball right,
Right.
there. No, you fool.
Right.
Jordan Love is not a good quarterback.
And
I
you
think
know what
he
the
gets
hard part
rattled
is?
easily, and then
I really like LaFleur as a head coach.
yeah, but he also makes a lot of bonehead decisions too. I
He's
think
in
he
Green
tries to be a
Bay.
little bit too cool.
I
You
think
know,
when
like,
you,
oh, I'm
I think
too
when you
smart
get
of
to
a
Green
guy.
Bay, like you just automatically lose like half your IQ points.
That is probably true. I've seen some.
They
people
wear those
do that.
stupid cheese heads, and they it leaks into their brain.
Yes. Yeah, somebody decided to tell people that wearing cheese on your head is a cool fashion statement. I'm just
It's
can't get
not
behind that.
at
It's
all.
not. No, it looks terrible. And yellow is a terrible color.
Yes, yellow
Who
and
wears-
green.
Yeah. They look like the garbage cans.
Yes.
I always make jokes about it. Like,
Yeah, it's awful. And the Lambeau Leap is stupid.
yeah.
Everything
Packers
about
are
Green
just
Bay is
it's just
stupid.
stupid. You know? And
They should
maybe
just
that's
get rid of the whole town of Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Like,
But
if
anyways-
Wisconsin was smart, they would just extradite Green Bay from Wisconsin.
I'm gonna stop my over the top Packer hate.
I
But in
just tell
reality-
one more thing before we get off the Packers?
Yeah.
So last Sunday, they played before the Bears.
Yeah.
They played at noon. So I was watching Red Zone, and I'm watching the end of the game. And we're screaming and hollering and clapping and all these things. And my wife is like, what in the world is going on up there? Like, the Bears aren't even playing yet. And I said, yeah, but John and I were watching the Packers, and they lost. And I had to teach John, anytime the Packers lose, you cheer. And he clapped. 1 year old, he was clapping for the Packers
Well,
loss.
good. You're teaching him the right way.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of times where I sometimes look back on raising two boys and the pain that they have to go through as Bears fans. But you know what? Life is pain, you know? So deal with it.
Right.
Thick
Deal
skin.
with it.
Right. Suck
Moments
it
like last Sunday, totally worth it.
up. Right. Now, if we could just make that a more consistent thing,
Yeah.
you know, then I'll be happy. But
Yeah.
overall, like you know, back onto the topic of going
Yeah.
2-2 into the bye. You go 2-2. Yeah, you struggled against the North with the Vikings and the Lions, which is going to be hard to
Yeah.
overcome if you want to even talk about playoffs. But nobody in this division is pulled away,
No.
you know, and these teams are beatable. The Vikings, Lions, they look really good. But again, I'm only worried about the Bears and who's on their schedule right now. I'm
Yeah.
trying this whole new outlook on the season.
Yeah. That's all you can do.
Just focusing on the Bears and letting the division fall the way it falls. But you know, what's their schedule after the bye? Hold on, let me pull this up.
They get Washington first.
Yeah, so they play the Raiders, and then they play the Commanders, and then they play New Orleans in Chicago,
That's a win.
and then they go to Baltimore and play the
Ooh, that's
Ravens.
a tough one.
Yeah, that'll be tough. And then they play Cincy in Cincy.
That's a win.
If Joe Burrow's not playing, I can't see how it's not. And then you play against the Giants. Like you
That's a
have a
win.
realistic spot. You know, you go 2-2 into the bye. If you can beat Washington, beat the Saints, all of a sudden you're 4-2.
Right.
And
You lose. Say you lose to Baltimore, you're 4-3.
and
But then you
go to
bounce back with the
Cincy,
Giants and Cincinnati. Now you're talking about 6-3.
6-3, right? And all of a sudden, the 0-2 start is a thing of the past, and now
Yeah.
you're literally in the thick of
Right. You're where you want to be.
right. And then you worry about the division when the division comes.
Yeah.
And you pull off a win. You beat the Lions and the Vikings each once.
Yeah.
You know, it makes things more interesting. This season isn't over.
No.
Now,
not at
if you
all.
lose and go 1-3 into the bye, then the season's over.
See, I don't think it is.
I think
think
it's. I think it's.
I
gonna
think
be
you
too
just laid
difficult.
out. You just laid out a map that okay. So instead of 6-3, you're 5-4.
I think
you
it's-
win-
I think
if you
it's
win
the-
those
the-
other
the-
games.
It's the momentum that you build that, and maybe it doesn't matter because you're going into your bye. So maybe
I
that's,
just think they've already shown with the effort this past Sunday that they could bounce back from a loss and not let it consume them like it did last year.
right.
Um,
I mean, that's fair too. That's 100% fair. The fact that if that was last season, you go out and let another 50 burger get put up on you. From Dallas.
if this was last year, they're getting beat by Dallas.
Yeah, probably by the same scores they got
after
beat by.
after you let Detroit put 50 up on you and embarrass you, they would have got smoked
Yeah,
by Dallas. So
I
it just shows the coaching staff and the difference this year versus everything we went through last year.
right. It's I think it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to a game that I feel like you said that the Bears should win. This is a game where I think a lot of people, I don't know what the line is in Vegas. I think the Raiders are favored in this
I
game.
think so. I thought I heard they were favored by 3.
Yeah, because Ben Johnson talked about it actually
Yeah.
and said how
And that's okay. Like
Yeah.
I'm okay being the underdog.
But here's the thing. Ben Johnson, I don't think he cares. I think he goes and says, let's fucking prove him wrong.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean
And-
sometimes in sports it's like I'd rather be a 3-point dog than a 1-point favorite.
right. Especially if you're at home.
Right.
You know. And the Bears were a dog against Dallas.
Yeah.
After a few
I'm
swings.
not gonna lie, I was afraid of that game.
Me too. I thought that the Dallas offense
I
was
was-
gonna
yeah.
run all over this
I was
Bears.
very afraid of Dak just throwing for 400 or 500 yards and just continuing to see the secondary look like Swiss cheese. And to their credit, they came out and they put the foot on the throat and they just held it there the whole game.
Right. Well, now we get the fun part where we have to wait till Sunday.
Packers suck.
I think going into the game, I expect the Bears win. I fully, we talked about the expectations for this upcoming game. I fully expect the Bears to go into Vegas and come away with a win.
I do too. I think, and maybe I'm crazy, but I think Ben Johnson's getting more comfortable with these players.
Yeah,
Players are getting more comfortable.
they're buying in more
Yep.
and more.
You could tell-
every quarter.
You can tell in that game against Dallas where the wide receivers were holding blocks. They weren't just, lackadaisical going to running through a play. And when you watch Detroit, that's what Detroit does. If you
Yeah.
watch their team, everybody, it doesn't matter if
Right.
it plays on the other side of the field. Like these receivers are going
Oh,
hard.
Jamison Williams was downfield blocking on Gibbs' touchdown.
Right.
He's the littlest receiver on the field. He's down there blocking his ass off to help
Right.
him get past and let him get into space. But and I think that's what you heard Ben Johnson talk about it after the Detroit game the next day. He said we watched the film, and we were very displeased with a lot of play away from the ball we saw.
Yep.
The effort was not there. The commitment wasn't there. And he challenged the players. And I mean, look, they responded last week.
They did.
Now it becomes every week. And Caleb said it himself, and I know it's very cliche, but in this case, it's very accurate of this team. We just want to go 1-0 every week.
Yep. And I think if there is a silver lining to going 0-2 to start the season, I think you have to have that mindset the rest of the year, at least in this beginning half of the year, because it's not, oh shit, we're behind in the standings, we're here, we're there. Like, that doesn't matter. You already put yourself in the hole.
Right.
Now you just focus on the game at hand and go out and work and do what you need to do to get the W in that game. Don't worry about 2 weeks from now or what this team is doing and that team is doing. You put yourself in a hole. Now you have to go out and handle your business before you have to worry about anybody else's business.
And at the end of the day, if this regular season comes to an end and the Bears are in the playoffs, no one's going to care that they started 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You know, if we're looking back at the midway point of the season at Thanksgiving and the Bears have 4 losses, we're going to be like, oh, shit, that 0-2 start was nothing.
Right.
You know, and then they'll have us all saying
The Bears.
But all right, we'll wrap it up. We're hitting that 1 hour mark. Thank you guys for tuning in. A lot of views tonight, which was awesome. Foster, it was cool seeing you in the comments. I appreciate you. We'll be back next week, hopefully discussing a Bears win, 2-2 going into the bye week and getting set to have a weekend of relaxation because the Bears won't play.
Yeah.
You know, so you can go do your apple picking and your pumpkin carvings or whatever.
Just think about the different mindset of a Bears fan. If we go into the bye week at 2-2, back-to-back wins, and it's like, oh, I get to do whatever it is I need to do because I don't have to be in front of the TV to watch the Bears because they don't play this week versus, well, at least I don't have to worry about the Bears losing this week because they're on bye.
That's usually what's that joke? The Bears will find a way to lose in the bye week.
Yeah. So
let's hope that that's not the case.
Yeah. So like at least we can have that mindset this year. It's like, hey, I get a week off of having to root and cheer for the Bears because they're not playing versus, you know, being like, well, at least I might enjoy a Sunday for once.
Yeah, I mean, it is always nice when that little pressure of watching the Bears is gone.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, even on their bye week, I'll still be saying
The Bears.
The Bears. But all right, guys, thanks for watching. Go to YouTube, like, share, subscribe. You guys, it's 2025. Y'all been liking, sharing, and subscribing to shit for the last 5 years. Keep it going. And we will see you guys next week. We appreciate you watching.